Hi lovelies, and welcome to Tuesday's sewing. So this is the first Tuesday sewing since we moved house, and I've got two covers on the go, slow stitch covers. Now if you're new, welcome, and on Tuesday we do all sorts of sewing things, slow stitch sewing. Sometimes we have games where we take prompts out of a jar so that we could add unusual things to our work, just to ring the changes a bit, make it a bit more interesting. And then for my long-suffering lovelies, you'll recall that we did this one, and we were using some different, trying out metallic threads, trying out some ribbon work and that on there. So we will get back to that, but what I wanted to do today is work on our button journal cover. So if you didn't catch the series I did just before we moved house, every week I rolled the dice, and depending on the number on the dice was dependent on the number of buttons I put on the piece that I made that day, and did this all with vintage pieces of lace and vintage fabric, and I've added them all together on this journal. I've got some signatures here all together to give it a guide. It's going to be quite a decent, nice chunky journal, but I thought today we'd just do a bit of sewing on this. I'm thinking that I'm going to do just some cantha stitching. I've started doing a little bit. There is some tacking stitches on here as well. I don't know if I'm going to take them off or not. I'm going to put that in my, I've got a little basket. I've got a little wire basket. Put my bits and bobs in. Keep them out my way. So yeah, I've got some linen thread. These I cannot remember, I got them off eBay, and I honestly can't remember who I got them from, but it's linen thread, and there's this lovely burgundy colour which I thought would go. We've got a lot of corals, haven't we, on this, so I thought this would be nice to use. So let's have a look. I think we will do some stitching along here. I've obviously got to put an internal cover, but there's no point in doing that, is it, until we've got all the, we don't want to see all the knots and all the casting off. I've got a really long needle just to make life a bit easier, because we're just doing cantha. And this is really nice fabric. I think I got this from my lady that sells upholstery. Can you hear David rustling in the background? Eh? Don't know why he's rustling. He's rustling away there. I bet he's eating chocolate when I'm not looking. Thinks I can't hear him. Hope you're all well. Nice to see that you're all back bright and breezy and doing some commenting, which is lovely. It's nice to have a nice chat down in the comments. So we usually have a bit of a natter at these sewings as well. Now cantha was traditionally, or still is in many parts of India, a traditional way of mending, a mending stitch, and it used to be rows and rows of running stitch, and not necessarily all in the same direction. You can alter direction, and you can still get, see that linen looks, it's a nice thick thread, I think, linen. You're okay if you've got decent fabric to work with, but if you've got loads of thick layers, it can be a bit of a tricky yarn to use. A bit a bit tough to pull through, but this is quite a coarse weave, this, so it works okay. I'll just keep turning me piece round, and so we had fun. I'll link some of the Tuesday button game. I think we called it button game. I can't remember what we called it. Can you remember, Lynn? Lynn will remember what we called it. She's the girl for all things Tuesday sewing. And you can get a bit of a quilted effect as well, you know, if you're doing this. Sometimes it can. If you're doing loads of rows, it can give you a bit of a quilted effect, if that's what you're wanting. Right, we'll cut that off now. Right, let's cut some more of that off.
Oh, sorry.
Can't have the music on either, David.
I got music on.
Oh, I don't know what it is then. Don't know what it is then, guys. I thought we were getting me in trouble with copyright then. Don't know what's making us, probably neighbours. We're still getting used to. Although it's not noisy, but we're still getting used to moving from, you know, a bungalow, our bungalow, to a flat apartment. It's very nice. We're getting used to it now, but it's, you know, it's a different way of living altogether. So we went to the range. We went to the range this morning, and it's a great big store in the UK that you can buy all sorts of household goods and also craft supplies. Well, I was very good, very good. All I bought was some beads, and they were such a bargain I couldn't resist them. So I think, oh, and a Copic marker pen in white, so I could write on the black and white journal. And was it Coptic, I think. And there's some that Rachel recommended, and I think she uses them a lot with the mark making. So I thought, oh, that would be great, because some of the papers in my black and white journal are black. Funny that, eh? Funny that you have black papers. Oh dear. You'll soon know that my jokes don't go very far. So I was really pleased with myself. Normally I would have bought loads of supplies, and I'm using what I've got. I'm going to be really good. Unless it's something that, you know, you do need to replace, things like glues and things like that, don't you? You know, consumables you have to replace, but I haven't got the space for buying loads of stock. So I'll show you the beads Thursday. They were a real bargain. Normally you pay, oh thank you, my helping hand, Posca, what did I call it? Coptic.
Yeah, that's a type of stitch for bookbinding.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh right. Oh it is, yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's a good job that I've got my helping hand husband here. Posca pens, that's it. Not Coptic, and did I say another word?
I don't know, chopstick was it?
Ah, yeah. Posca pen, by Uni. White, they are what do you call it, pens? Paint pens. So I'm looking forward to having a go with that. Posca, I have to remember that. Posca, not Coptic. You should know I'd get name mixed up. You all also, I haven't made any boo-boos with purchasing funny sized items either. I do have this habit, don't I, of buying supplies that are not the size I was expecting. So that's how my mini lunch bags came about. Because you can't get anything. They are very mini. You can't hardly get anything in them. Not lunch wise anyway. They're nice for using in your journals. So yeah, back to my cantha. So traditionally used in India, and it is basically a type of mending, or a means of stitching sort of fabrics, layers of fabrics together. It's a very quick and easy stitch to do, and I mean it is in essence a running stitch, what we call running stitch. But you could get some fabulous, if you look out on eBay and places, you get some fabulous second-hand quilts with canvas stitch on. They're rather expensive though, because I think it's sort of, you know, the word is out that crafters are wanting them for vintage, you know, junk journalers, etc. So they can be quite pricey. So I think we will go in a different direction now. We'll go up here. I didn't want to put anything, this is really just to keep everything in its place nicely. I didn't want to put anything too ornate in holding all this together, because we want the buttons, I want the buttons to be the star of the show. They are all vintage, quite a few of them are Art Deco. I love that period of time, Art Deco. Love any design features Art Deco. And so I'm just setting off in a different direction. I hope that there's a few of you that are joining in with this cover, or whatever you're using your buttons for. Let me know. Quite a few of you I know were using the button idea for making in your sewing, so let me know how that goes. Videos I've been enjoying this week, well, I'm only just catching up on everything. Catching up. I thought it was awful to hear that Tracie Fox are having to alter how they do the foxy rag, and that's quite understandable, the amount of time I think her and her partner use on doing it, but it's still going to come out in its different format, and so there still will be a format for you to get, and also it's going to be free. But what Tracy'd like you to do is you know, show your appreciation for her doing free things for us by contributing to buy me a coffee, which I think's a very nice idea. But she's been having a bit of a tough time, I think, you know. All the big, you know, the large crafters that have got large channels seem to come under a lot of stick from rude people, rude, snide people that think they've got a right to be personally make personal comments or nasty comments. Not necessary, is it? I was watching a favourite of mine, Caroline, Mrs. C. if you don't know her, she's in the UK. She does a bit of fashion, bit of lifestyle, that sort of thing. She's a really lovely lady, in her 50s, I think. Well, she's had some really upsetting people leave comments and things, which, she was doing December dailies and then had to stop because she was so distressed. But yeah, go and check her out. I mean, it's a lot bigger channel. Everybody's is a bigger channel than me. And she does some really interesting stuff, and also she does curvy fashion. For those of us that we get to a certain age, don't we? And can't seem to shift the weight. I certainly am struggling. So go and check her out. It's Caroline, Mrs. C. And yes, watch the video from Tracie telling you how the Foxy Rags, sorry, not the Foxy Crafters, that's a Facebook group, how changes are going to be implemented for that. And this last week, I've really been enjoying Tina at Shabbydabbydoodah. She has got a lovely new kit out, like an essentials kit. So if you are new to junk journaling and want to sort of not spend too much money, tip your toe in the water, see if you like it all, and you want all sorts of digital bits and bobs, labels and cards and cutouts, flowers and butterflies, then head on over to Tina at Shabbydabbydoodah. But she's been doing a lovely journal using that kit. So yeah, she's been making a lovely journal with, well, part a journal in a folio, and then the others that she's made some reverse envelopes and decorated all those up, which look really good. I'm really enjoying this series. So yeah, go and check that out if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you must know, they must know Tina and Rachel and Tracie, all big crafters, big channels. See, I'm going in a different direction and it just gives it a little. Loving them beads on there. So there's no new stitch to show you this week. I'm way behind with my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery that Rachel and Sarah Roxborough are doing. Way behind. We're moving house. I think there's only 1 month left after this one, and that project's finished. So yeah, I've got about 2 months to catch up, I think. I can't thread this, it's getting a bit tatty. Nelson, he's settling in okay. He's had a bit of a rumble tumble. He gets a rumble tumble tummy in the night, bless him. Oh, I mean, he's so good. We've got all brand new carpets, so I bet he thought, oh no, I can't be sick on my mummy's carpet, my mum's new carpet. So he took himself to the bathroom and did it in there on the cushion floor or whatever we call it these days. And I thought, oh bless him. But he's, yeah, a bit off it. It's very humid here. It's very humid. I mean, it's May, in May in the UK we do get very mixed weather, but it's very dismal a lot of the time, but very humid, and I don't think that's probably helped him. I think that doesn't suit him. I'm going to have to put my needle through like this. So a little tip, you've got a really long needle and you realise you've run out of thread. Put your needle through your fabric and just thread it before you pull the last bit through. And you should be able to then tie it off on the back. She says hopefully. There we go. That's it. Just thread it through. It's alright having these long needles for, you know, doing such as cantha stitch, but they're hard to tie the back off if you don't leave yourself enough thread. Right, okay. So I've put a bit down there. The tacking stitch I like, actually. I'm going to leave in the middle. I don't want to put any wrap down that flower. So I'm going to put some down here, I think. We'll have a bit more of this nice burgundy. Nothing else exciting to tell you, I don't think. There's a lovely Buddhist meditation centre not far from here, about 9 miles away. Out in the open countryside. It's gorgeous, like an old stately home, and you can go there and have free meditation every day at 12:30. So I went last, I don't know if I mentioned this, I went last Monday. Oh, and it's lovely and peaceful, and it's a lovely place, lovely gardens and everything to walk, you know, to walk Nelson, and so that's going to be a regular, I think, a regular place for us to go. They do a knit and natter downstairs. Downstairs there's like a nice lounge, community lounge, if people want to, you know, sometimes they have, they meet up and get, you know, coffee mornings and things like that, which isn't necessarily our thing, but on a Monday night they have this knit and natter, so I thought I'd go for the first time tonight and see what it was like. I don't think they're quite ready for me. Because I think me and David, no, there's a few couples our age, but you know, I don't think they're quite ready for my impromptu chuck it together and see type of sewing. So watch this space. I will give you an update. I will give you the update. Oops, I was just concentrating then. It was a bit tough. I'm only going to do another row. It's getting a bit big for handling now, this. So don't forget to let me know what you're sewing. Be nice to know what you're doing. So I'll leave all the links down below of everybody that I've been talking about. Craft channel wise. Oh, and as usual, the lovely Kate from Last Homely House. She always posts on a Sunday. There we go. I'll finish that off a bit there. I'm just wondering if I've got some cream. I'll have a look, see what I've got. Let's have a look in my little, this is just with my linens in. Is there another colour I'd like? We could use like a bit of a brown, couldn't we? Oh, there's a green. I did have like a bit of an olive. Oh, that'd be nice. How about that? That'd go, wouldn't it, there? Let's have a bit of that. Can't tell you what colours they are because, as I say, they come like this. You just buy a set and they come wrapped from Amazon. So we'll just do a bit of this and see how it looks, and then I don't want to let the video go on too long because, as I say, we have to upload it overnight now, so it is a bit of a faff. Okay, we'll try a bit of this up here because I think it'll go nice with that fabric that's on there. Now, the other thing you can do with camphor is you can alter the sizing of your stitching. So although it's the same stitch, you're essentially doing a straight stitch, you can alter the size to get different effects. So there, like, I've done quite big stitching, but on here I thought we'd do something a bit more delicate, and it just gives it a bit of a different look, I think. There's nothing, you know, nothing set in stone how you have to do it, because, as I say, it's very rustic type of stitching. It's very organic. You know, it was a means of, you know, everyday mending, I suppose. I mean, we do the yarning a lot. I always did a lot of what they call yarn stitch. Because certainly my nana used to do yarning, and it was mending. It's a type of mending holes and things in socks or garments, because, you know, sort of back in the war years, they couldn't just go out and buy a new pair. We've got very much too used to fast fashion, haven't we, really, here? You know, even for essentials like socks and pants. Tights, you know, you wear a pair of tights and there's a bit of a slight hole in it, you chuck them out. Whereas, you know, they used to darn them. I mean, in the 70s I remember that my mum still darned her tights for work. So you never know, when we're back to darning and canthering all over the place with our cost of living shooting up. Canthering all over the place. I'll have to make do and mend. That's the saying that they had in the war here. In the make do and mend. I don't think we're very good these days making do, are we? We've got a bit too used to having the good life, I think. I'm liking this colour very much, it looks nice. I may well leave the tacking stitches in, I quite like them in the background, they look quite organic as well. So that's I think that's about my news. No funny stories. We're turning very boring, aren't we? Aren't we turning boring, me and David? Oh, David's in the middle of doing a new little kit for me. It is going to be recipes. I shall let you know that, because I'm going to be doing a bit, cooking journal. And I managed from the vintage shop on the high street here where we've moved to, I've got a really old recipe book, and I did a bit of research on the company that did this, and they used to buy in flour and all sorts of grocery consumables. Anyway, I managed on the internet to find somebody that was selling some old invoices from the company that we've got this vintage recipe book, who made this vintage recipe book. So David's utilising all that into a new kit for us. And I'm really excited about it, because finding those extra goodies, it was a bit of a find anyway, this really old vintage, that's in the public domain, so it's that old we can use it, recipe book. But then to get some invoices from the exact same company that produced it, I was all excited, very excited, and they've arrived, and yeah, cool. David's adding those to the mix as well. So as soon as that's done, I will show you that, because that's going to be, well, I don't know if did I show you the covers? I can't remember now if I showed you the covers. David covered some old book covers that were past the best, with some lovely fabric that I had in my stash, with cups and saucers and things on. And there's 4, it's made 4, so this kit will be perfect. So I'm excited about that. I haven't had a new kit for ages with all the moving malarkey. Right then, I'm about end of that, so I'm happy with that. That's a lovely colour. And we'll put a bit over this side, I think, and to tie it in. I'll just carry on doing a bit more to this. And thank you so much for joining me. So don't forget, let me know what you're sewing, and go and check out all the channels I've been enjoying. I'll put all the links down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And it gives, just gives us that little bit of a burst, bit of a something that, bit of a hug for me and David for the work that we put in. And oh yes, and 1,500 subscribers, so 1,500. I'm really excited about that. And the other thing is, I said I was going to do, because we've moved, giveaway, so I shall get a video done for that as soon as I can. All right then, my lovelies, have a lovely sewing day, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.